doing something here I'm calling an everyday stitch along drawing pencil sketch. And so we are making little creatures that we are putting periodically within our stitches here. So we're sort of stitching them within the design of our pencil sketch drawing. And so I'm making a little ladybug right here. Tiny little ladybug. Just like that. I hope you guys can see this. Yeah, you can still see it. We got to put in some little legs. I think there's 6 legs on ladybugs. Okay, so we've got our little ladybug. I'm going to be mixing a bunch of different creatures together. I'm going to go up here now, and I am going to in my stitch along drawing here, I am going to put in a jellyfish. Okay, so I'm going to make a little jellyfish like this. Like that. I'm going to put on 2 little eyes. Like this. Little, like that. And I'm just stitching them in with my drawing. You see that? We're making little stitches here, and we're stitching all of them in together. And so we can make this one go in any directions that we want to with our little stitch along here. And we can add in, what do I want to put in? Let's see. I have one more down here. I've got a mythical creature here. I'm going to stitch in, a little dragon in here right now. I'm going to stitch in, let's see here. We're going to put in a little dragon in here like this. I'm going to get a little dragon. His foot goes down, and up like that. And then we're going to put in another little part right here. Okay, we've got that in there. And so okay, so now I need to add in some back feet like this and stitch in more of the dragon, and then like that. Come here, buddy. Come here. Get over here. Come on. Okay, so I am stitching in a little mythical creature here, which is a dragon. And that's what I'm working here on my stitches on this part. Okay, so we've got the little dragon in there. And, okay. So I'm going to go back down. And we're just going to keep stitching in. Okay, I need to get myself ready here in case I get, how many minutes of it? 4 minutes. There must be a lot of people on YouTube right now. Okay, so I'm over here in the comments if anyone has any questions or anything related to what we're doing. Okay. Oh, goodness. Did I lose my... No, I didn't lose my inspiration here. Okay, so I'm going to go back down here. And if I wanted to, I could just... It almost looks like I ended right here at the little dragon creature. Okay, so let's stitch on around this direction. So really kind of what we're doing is doodle stitching. And we're stitching the creatures in. You know, it's sort of like embroidery a little bit too. So I'm going to do another little butterfly like this. Okay, we're drawing the little body in between here, and we're putting in some little antennas like that. Okay. Well, hello. Who have we got here? Miles. Well, hello, Miles. Hello, Miles. How are you today? We're doing a little stitch along is what we're working on, and I'm putting in little mythical creatures and bugs and worms and things in the stitch along. So do you see this? This is all the creatures I've been working on. Do you like it? Okay, so I'm gonna... So I kind of want to just make a little curly Q, sort of a stitchy doodle kind of a thing around like this. I want to make sort of a little circular stitchy doodle thing like that. So I just made a little circle right there. And so I'm going to keep going from the butterfly, and so I'm going to go in this direction. Yes, what question did I ask you that you said yes to? I asked you a question, or... Oh, I asked you if you liked it. Okay. Yeah. I'm having a brain something or another today, and so I kind of forgot what I asked, the question that I asked you. Okay, so I'm going to make a little... Oh, let's see here. We're going to make a little frog. Like this. Okay, and so we're going to do some eyes like this, and then a couple of nostrils right here, and a big wide looking mouth. And okay, so I'm going to go down like this and like this, and then do the legs and some loopy looking weird feet around like that. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing with this. 1, 2, 3, and then, yeah, that works. And then we're going to do a little part of the body down here, and then some little forked looking hands here. There, we've got our little frog just that fast. We've got our little frog in there. Oh, actually, I messed up. Because frogs don't have ears. Frogs do not have... Maybe I should leave it. We're going to put in some eyes up here. And there. That looks more like a frog now. So the frog has some fake eyes and some real eyes in my world. That's funny. The frog has fake eyes and real eyes. Okay, so let's put that up like that. There, that's a lot better. So we got a frog in there that fast. And so now we're going to keep on stitching. We're going to keep on doing our stitching around like this. And I'm doing a stitch drawing is what I'm doing. And these are popular. These have been around for a very long time. The stitch drawings and sketches. And so, and we can add into them at any time that we want to as well, if we want to, you know, do something like that. I think right here what I'm going to add in is a tiny little dragonfly right in here like this. And so I'm going to make sort of a oblong, misshapen, almost like pyramid shape, but it doesn't have a point on it though. And so it's kind of a boxy kind of rectangle with rounded, curved, as it starts to kind of pyramid down on itself and get smaller. So it's like sort of like a telescope in a way, to the point that it does have a little point right there like that. So we're working on a dragonfly is what we're working on right now. And we've got these little thingies like that. We're going to put some eyes on there like that. A couple of little antennas that stick out like this. And then we're going to do a couple of wings. We're going to do a wing up here like this. And then we are going to do another wing like this. And then we're going to put in some little things that looks like the little very paper thin, almost like rice paper thin wings. So we got our little dragonfly stitched in here now. We got to stitch it up in there close. So it's kind of like we're working on a pattern work of maybe kind of like an embroidery sampler. And I always thought it was funny. They called them embroidery samplers. Now, embroidery samplers, well, we could probably call this a sampler as well, even though I called it my everyday stitch along drawing sketch. And that's what I decided to make. You know, because I'm not the first person who has seen this before. Other people who do drawings in the art community draw stuff. I believe what we're going to put in is a grasshopper now. We're going to put in a little... How are we going to do this? Because the body... Okay, so I'm going to start off with this direction like this for the grasshopper leg and go down like that. And so then we're going to make it... It's kind of like a boat shape there. And then at the top... Okay, so we come out kind of around like this, and then it goes up. And then we still connect it like that. And then we have another part of the leg that goes up and down like that. It's almost like a sailboat, sort of. And then, you know, the grasshoppers, they have those weird little faces. And so, is that legs? Or I think that's its little feelers right there. You know how grasshoppers spit tobacco? So there is a couple of legs, other legs up there like that. So grasshoppers have more legs. And so we got a little grasshopper stitched in here now, like that. You see that? A little grasshopper stitched in there. And so this is all the creatures that we have stitched in so far. So maybe another video will color all of them. But this one we're putting in a bunch of different creatures. Now let's go back to the... Well, actually what I could do, another thing I could do too is like just put the creatures randomly in here. So like here I could just draw a little seahorse. That's what I'm going to do, is draw a seahorse right here. Okay, and so okay, so I got a little seahorse in there like that. And we're going to put a little eye in here, right there. And then we're going to do this way in this direction. We're going to make it a little frilly on here. Oh, these are real dragons. And so, yeah, seahorses are really mythical dragons and creatures, aren't they? Seahorses are fun to look at. I think I've seen them in fishing tanks before, so they are real creatures. They are things that I have seen before. Okay, so we've got a seahorse over there. We haven't stitched it in yet. Oh, let's do a little crab. Okay, we're going to draw a couple of eyes right here. One eye, and then another eye. And then we're going to do a little crab like this. And we're going to get it in there like that. An eye and an eye, and then a mouth. And then we are going to do its little legs like this. Little legs. Just like that. We've got one side done, then we've got another side we're working on, just like that. Another side, and then another side, just like that. Okay, so we'll stitch them in a little bit. We're not going to do that right now. And okay, so we've got an octopus. Is that an octopus? We've got a sea butterfly too. Let me move up a little bit because I've got more. Let's see. Okay, I've got 3 images, and yeah, I've got, oh, that one is really cool. Okay, let's get that one in here too. I need to get this one. This one is really cool. Okay, let me see how I'm going to get this one in. I might need a little bit more real estate room here to get this little creature in. Okay. And so okay, that's the head. We're going to take this down like that. Okay, and now we've got a beak on this creature. A beak kind of like that. And so we're going to come out and around and down like that a little bit. And so we're going to, yeah, this one's a little bit larger. Okay, so we went down the chest like that. And so we've got like a foot coming kind of out like this direction. And then we've got like opposing claws. This really kind of looks like a combination of a, it's got lots of legs on it. It looks like a combination of an eagle and a dog. That's what it's looking like, an eagle and a dog. This is quite a interesting creature right here that we have. So it's got the opposing, like the claw or the dew claw that's on there. Like that. Okay, and so we're going to take the belly around a little bit like that. So we've got a leg that comes up, and then, and so now we've got this other part here that comes around. There's a little small ankle, and then it comes around, and we've got the foot like this. It goes around the heel and then up, and now we've got a tail. Okay, so we're going to take the tail around and up like that. That's pretty good. We got a big one in here in our stitch along. Now he might eat the rest of the things that we've got in here. Okay, so let's stitch this one in. If we stitch it in, hopefully it won't eat the rest of our creatures. Okay, so let's go on around here, and we'll stitch in our seahorse like this. We'll get our seahorse stitched in like that. And okay, let's draw just some little lines like this. We'll get some little lines in there like that. Okay, so let's stitch on along here, and we will get our crab over here. We've got a little crab. We've got that stitched in there. And so this is all the creatures we have. I mean, this is kind of a fun little doodle we've got right here with all these little mythical creatures. And I could even put a mermaid in. Do I have enough room to put her in? I was thinking about putting the mermaid in. I think I need to add mermaid in here somewhere. I'm not sure how I'm going to get her in. Let's see if we can't add her up here. Okay, how am I going to add her in here? I need to give, okay, so let's do this. Okay, and then we're going to loop this around and around and out and then around, and we're going to, okay, so she's got kind of a, okay. Did I not leave myself enough room? It's very possible I just didn't leave myself enough room right here. If I'm going to do it like this, I'm not going to have enough room. Okay, so how are we going to... Okay, I think I might be able to get her in here. Okay, so we've got her little tiny neck right here, and then okay, it's almost like that bottom part might be a little bit too large. Maybe I need to make it a little bit smaller. I might need to make it a little bit smaller like that. I think then I can give myself a little bit more room to work her in a little bit better if I make it smaller. Okay, so let's make it smaller, and then I messed up. Okay, and so we've got the little bikini top on right here like that, and then let's see. Okay, so we've got her flowing hair. And so we've got the hair coming out around this side, around her face. And so there's her arm is coming down and it's resting upon the side of here of her body. That's where her arm is resting right there. And okay, so we don't want the bikini top to actually look like it's another creature there, and it kind of does. Okay, we need to fix bikini top. Okay, bikini top looks kind of strange. Okay, so we fixed the coconuts there. Okay, and so we've got this little part. Yeah, that looks a lot better now. And so we're adding mermaid in here. And so the scales, they do tend to get smaller. I think that's so funny. They're called scales. And I think about scales in music. And yes, we have scales in music when it comes down to, when you think about it, we do. We have scales in music. So let's add, okay, we need to add in a little bit of a nose here. Looks like she's sleeping. Mermaid is sleeping. And so we are going to add some little frillies in her hair like this. We're going to get her stitched in here soon. And, okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's not too bad. So let's stitch mermaid in. Okay, we've got her stitched in. Actually, you know what? How long have we been on here? 24 minutes. Okay, let's take this one on around like this and stitch it on in here to the beginning. So we've actually kind of did a full circle, stitching everything in here. Now, mermaid looks kind of silly. She looks kind of, actually, I kind of like how she looks. Her hair, let's puff it up. There, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better here with her hair. We want to get her looking there. She looks quite a bit better there. So we've stitched in quite a few characters now. We might be able to add some more I think we have room for more characters that we can stitch in here. And that at any given time, if we want to add more stitches, we can just stitch this creature along into this creature and stitch in more of it just like that. I hope that showed up. Let's see, let me go up here. Yeah, you know, the only thing that I have missing on here is worm. We didn't really get worm in here. Let's add worm. Let's put worm over here. Inchworm, 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 measuring the marigolds. Okay, let's add. Okay, there we got worm in there. Okay, so let's stitch in worm into this stitch part right here, and we'll stitch worm on over to this side. So we've got worm stitched in there. So that looks pretty good. I think this looks pretty good, our little stitch. And this one especially. Oh my gosh, I like this creature. This creature I like a lot. I've seen it before, but I kind of forgot about it. I'm going to have to see if I can come up with more mythical creatures, because I do like the mythical creatures. They're fun. And we actually did pretty good with Froggy too, even though we sort of messed up, but we got Frog in there. And so, alrighty, I think that that's about it. And we will see you the next time.